Hello, my name is Stephan Holstein. I am this German religion guy that you probably heard of. Visit my channel for a lot of videos about spirituality, meditation, and religion. Topic now is evolution true or is creationism true? Creationism is the idea that as it's written in the Bible, God hovered over the earth and said, I make people, and he made people, and that was that. While evolution is the idea that animals came up like some roughly, I don't know, a billion years ago or something, and they developed. This is the truer answer, like evolution is the much truer answer. And the stuff that's written in the Bible that God makes people is not true. It's not the way for you to believe. Even if you are a strict believer and you want to be ultra religious, this is not a thing for you that you can believe or defend. Now, look at it, please, like this. What's written in the Bible when there's written that God formed people out of clay? Then the people, when in the times they wrote this and in the times before, they looked at nature and they found that when people die, they turn in a way back to earth. So they become earth. That's a biological thing happening. And so they said, okay, people seem to be made of earth. And they knew one type of earth that you can take and put into a form, a vase or something, and then burn it, and then it becomes hard and can be used as a pottery. And so they said, this clay that you can form and burn is a nice type of earth that you can put in forms. So humans are made of clay. And they thought, well, the higher being made us, so he made us from clay. If you look at it like this is a scientific approach. It is just lacking knowledge. In general, this is a scientific approach. Earthquakes, today we know that the continents are shifting against each other, and sometimes they shake. Sometimes it shakes because they shift and then suddenly they release bigger movements and there's an earthquake. People back then did not know about continental drifts. So they thought Earth is shaking, very terrifying. God does this. We know how lightning comes to be in the sky. It has to do with static electricity. People back then did not know that. They just thought very frightening. God does this. But in general, this is science. And today, this is a scientific approach. Seeing things and then speculating where they come from. If you see science today, it is very sophisticated. Like, we know today that time is not everywhere flowing at the same speed, which is something super amazing to know. Like, if I understood it right, then at our feet time is slower than at our heads, even. And the satellites in space that we put in space have a quicker time than we have here. And it is provable. You can even prove it that it's true. If you put a clock in a satellite, it will diverge from the clock on Earth. And also, even though this is very sophisticated, I am super sure that in 2,000 years, people will look at our knowledge and will say, there was so much wrong about it. They will definitely also say a lot of great foundations were laid to the knowledge we have now, but they definitely will say, oh God, so much they did not know and so much was just wrong. If you want to be a scientist and you want to look for scientific achievements, and you take a science book that's 60 or 100 years old, and still you have a scientific book that was made with experimental science. So it was the scientific method was the same that we have today. Empirical, like really finding real proof. But yet if you take a science book that's 60 years old or 100 years old, you know there's a lot of stuff written there that's just basically wrong. And that today we know better. And if it comes to the Bible, you have, as I said, a scientific approach to things. But it's some 3,000 years old. Some stuff is just 2,500 years old, and you know some stories might be even older because there could have been an oral tradition that people told the stories before they wrote them down. It's 3,000 years old. If you take a 100-year-old science book, there will be a lot of things wrong. In the Bible, there's just a lot of stuff really wrong that is written in the Bible. So you might come and say, but the Bible is the word of God, and God knows. Yeah, that's true, God knows. But that is not the way God acts. God is not a person that comes to us and tells us in human language how the things are. God is an extremely high thing, and is so high that you cannot even understand if there is God or if there are just higher things. So usually I speak of the higher things. The higher things are so much, you cannot tell what the higher things are. Not only because you don't have the words, you cannot tell how the higher things are because you cannot understand them. You have to go to have more capabilities of understanding before you can know how the higher things are. And if you try to pull them down to your level so much that you say God is a person that comes to you and tells you this and this and that happened in the Bible, you are on the very wrong track. If you want to understand religion right and the higher things in the right way, because if you want to understand them in the right way, you become a bit more humble, better, and you say, I am going to understand them, but I'm not understanding them now. And you go for the things that you understand, which is that those things want you to be loving and to put everything, to put as far as you can and can take it, as much as you can to be a loving person, to then become a cosmically loving person. So there's these things in the Bible that are just completely wrong, like creationism, that gay people are doing something fundamentally wrong, is also a wrong thing in the Bible. And today there's the belief, sometimes people believe in faith healers, and so they don't go to see a doctor. Go to see a doctor. There's if you say, okay, I also believe in healing. If you get a really good in doing these things, there might be things possible. But I have not seen really good faith healers. It could happen that things like that are possible, but science that makes us understand that time, what we think is just everywhere at the same speed, and science that understands that time is not everywhere of the same speed, is a really good shot at an attempt to heal. And it's your and you're in charge of taking care of that. You live well, healthy and long. Like, that's a good thing to strive for, even though after this life I know that we will live on. We live longer than this life, but yet you defend the life you have as you would defend it if you were even if you live on, you still will defend your life, because those are complex things that can not really well be understood or defined and stuff. But it's a good thing. What I wanted to say is, it's a good thing to take care of your own life. And so going to see see doctors who are scientific doctors is the way for you to go. And don't ever reject them, because you say, if I reject the doctor, I cannot go to a face healer. Those systems are not mutually exclusive. And if you ask me whom to trust, go to the hospital. Don't believe in face healing. Don't believe in creationism. Don't believe that the Bible is true because it's the word of God, because that's not how God does things. God is too high to speak in human language. We come to understand the language of God, not God is coming to speak in our language. It's the other way around. We go to God, or even God drawing us, or if you don't want to speak of God, the higher things drawing us. That was basically the thing. Is creationism right? No, of course not. Of course creationism is just not right. It's a scientifical approach on about theory building, about how we came to existence, that is absolutely outdated. And the modern form of what science believes holds a lot of truth, because you find the campfires of early humans, you find the early animals that now are extinct, you find dinosaurs. And no, God did not put out dinosaur bones to test us. This is not the way things work. So science, every good believer is also doing a good thing if he believes in the findings of science. That's a general way for you. Science is good for us. Yeah, that was that. I thank you for watching. If you like this video, I like it if you press the like button. And if you like to hear more, please check out my channel or even subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching.